All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. We're basically a third of the way through this MLB season, and once again, the American League East looks like it's going to be one of the top divisions in baseball. All five teams within this division are currently above 500. And after sending three teams to the postseason last year, could we see four teams from this division get in this year? Less divisional games means that those teams in this division won't be able to beat up on each other as much. And it's also going to put more of an importance on those divisional matchups. And you're looking how things are playing out so far this season. The Tampa Bay Rays, they're just playing out of this world as they're in a class by themselves. They're 39 and 16 right now, hands down, the best record in baseball. Now, after the Baltimore Orioles barely missed out on making the postseason last year, they're playing like a team right now that has eyes on October. The Orioles are currently 34 and 19, and the only reason that they're not in first place right now is because of the strong start for the Rays. And when you talk about the Rays and the Orioles, we're talking about the two best records in baseball right now, and they are both in the American League East. And because of the strong starts by both Tampa and Baltimore, we're not really talking about the Yankees like we should. The Yankees are in third place. They're 32 and 23. They're 7 games behind Tampa Bay. But the Yankees right now, record wise, they're good enough to be a first place team in most divisions around baseball. It's just the fact of Tampa and Baltimore just playing so much better than them. You also look at it, the restructured Boston Red Sox look like a much different team this year as compared to last year. And the Toronto Blue Jays, they once again have their eyes set on the postseason. They're 28 and 26, and they're sitting in last place in this division as they're 10 and a half games behind Tampa Bay currently. You look at these teams, all of these clubs have solid lineups, but the pitching has been pretty good for the most part. You like the resurgence of Chris Sale on the mound for the Boston Red Sox. He's showing flashes of being the guy that was a Cy Young contender for the majority of the prime of his career. Now he looks to once again be healthy. But you think about Garrett Cole with the New York Yankees, you think about that Tampa Bay pitching staff. But at the end of the day, I think pitching is going to be a big part of not only who wins this division, but also who gets to the postseason from this division. And most importantly, who's going to be able to take care of their business against the teams that they're supposed to beat. That's going to be a big thing as far as who is going to be in that position to make the playoffs. Now, if the season ended today, the Rays, Orioles, and Yankees would all be postseason bound, but both Tampa Bay and, pardon me, both Boston and Toronto, rather, are looking for postseason spots as well. And I think this is going to be a very interesting summer once again for the American League East. You think about this division for the most part of the last 15 to 20 years, where generally they're flirting with getting multiple teams in. Of course, the 8 team playoff format, you consistently saw that wild card spot come out of the East with an additional team being right there. Then with two wild cards, we saw potentially two American League East teams fighting it out. Then, of course, now with the expanded postseason, I think that's only going to, enhance things. But I will say this with the resurgence of the Texas Rangers out west, it's going to make it a little bit tougher because the Astros are still looking like the Astros as they're getting back on track. At some point, I do expect the Seattle Mariners to get it going. And once again, the American League Central is going to look like a one trick pony, meaning that only one team from that division is going to be postseason bound. But nonetheless, you definitely want to take care of your business if you're all five teams within the East. So you look at this as a very interesting week coming up for all of the teams in the East. The Orioles will host the Cleveland Guardians for a series beginning with tomorrow. The Blue Jays will be back home to host the Milwaukee Brewers. The Red Sox will host the Cincinnati Reds. We're also talking about a situation where the Tampa Bay Rays will be at Wrigley to take on the Chicago Cubs. And for the New York Yankees, they're headed west to take on the Seattle Mariners, which is never an easy place to play because right now with this Mariners team, you simply never know what you're going to get. And then looking ahead to next weekend, the Jays will be in New York, not to face the Yankees, but they'll be at Citi Field to take on the New York Mets. A big series in the East as the Red Sox will welcome the Rays to Fenway Park. You got the Orioles on the West Coast next week to take on the San Francisco Giants, and then the Yankees will be at Chavez Ravine to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. And of course, that's back-to-back weekends rather, if you're the Dodgers with big-time opponents from the American League East. Of course, we saw the Dodgers and Rays have pretty good series this weekend at the Trop in Tampa, which could be a postseason preview. Of course, both of these clubs met in the World Series 3 years ago, and of course, this weekend with Dodgers Yankees, it's going to be talked about a lot by the media. You think about the historical factor with when you think about Dodgers and Yankees. Going back to the Dodgers days in Brooklyn when they and the Yankees met numerous times in the postseason, and of course, several times since the Dodgers moved to LA. But nonetheless, all five teams from the American League East look poised to make postseason runs. Obviously, the Rays are in that catbird seat right now, but once again, the AL East is looking like the premier division in all of Major League Baseball. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I'm signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.